Good morning. Welcome to Deacon Jody Daily. Well, this probably is the last video from Kansas. Tomorrow morning, bright and early, we will head off to South Bend, Indiana, to the University of Notre Dame to visit my son and his family for the rest of the week and New Year's. So I don't know what the videos will look like beginning tomorrow. We'll see. And then for the rest of the week, I'll be doing them from his house or his office or whatever. We'll just have to play that. But here today, we're still in the Christmas season. Merry Christmas, and today's a really kind of a weird bunch of readings, but today is the feast day of St. John, the evangelist, the beloved John. The Gospels continue to talk about John. We get the sense that he was kind of Jesus's favorite. The story of John is that he was the only apostle that was not martyred. He was arrested, and he went to Ephesus and took care of Mary. And then he was arrested and sent to Rome, tried, and banished to the island of Patmos. And that's where there's a little confusion of whether he ever got away from there or did he die there. But we think that we know that on Patmos he wrote Revelation. Some people call it the Apocalypse. That's the last book of the Bible. And many people think that he wrote his gospel after that. I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter to me. The reality is that John's gospel was the last one written, and it's the most theologically significant one, because John continues to talk about who Jesus is, that Jesus is the Word made flesh. And so today we have this unique set of readings that are resurrection based, but we're in Christmas season, and there is a synergy there, and maybe we'll talk about it in this video. If you like my videos, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and also follow the Deacon Jody Moscona Facebook page. And then, as always, like the videos, share them as much as you can. I like to share them by email. When I hit share, an opportunity to copy the address pops up, and I'll email it to people. And a lot of times I email it to people far away because those are ways to get the videos into a more remote, farther away area. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, thank you for joining today. Let me dive into this. So the first reading is from 1 John. It's one of his apostles. This is the letter. And he says, beloved, he always says beloved. Love is a very important theme of John. And I'll maybe talk briefly about that in a second. What was from the beginning, what we have heard, what we have seen with our eyes, what we looked upon and touched with our hands concerns the word of life. For the life was made visible. So what he is saying is that the word wasn't just some thing, the word was Christ. And Christ became one of us. He became flesh, and he was actually able to be seen and touched. That's very important, because that is the whole substance of the incarnation and Christmas and what the season has been all about. But then they give us the gospel, which is the resurrection gospel, where the first day of the week Mary Magdalene went to Simon Peter and told them they have seen the Lord. They've taken the Lord from the tomb, and we don't know where they put him. That's what this version says. This is from John. So John and Peter run to the tomb. John beats Peter there, but out of deference to Peter as the leader, he does not go in until Peter gets there. Peter gets there, looks in. They see the dressings all folded up, and the face cloth is not with the burial clothes. It's separate. And then this is the point that I want to talk about today. John then went in the one who had arrived first, he saw and believed. This whole idea of seeing and believing is one of these things about faith that gives us a reason to feel good about our relationship with God. Because we see later Thomas, who wasn't there when Jesus came the first time, and then he was there when Jesus came later. And Jesus says, Thomas, you believe because you've seen and touched me. Blessed are those who have not seen and believe. He's talking about us. And he's talking about how blessed we are because of our faith. And I've said this once before, I believe every one of us is given a seed of faith that we have to nurture and grow. And we grow that by reading the scriptures and meditating through our prayer life. And I think that that's how the seed of faith manifests itself in us into this sense of love. That is the second point that I want to talk about. So the whole Advent season is the anticipation, the hope through faith that Jesus is coming. Once Jesus comes, we turn the table to love. And that's what John's Gospels are all about, love. John focuses on love, that God is love. And he says in one of his writings that God is love. And I like to say this kind of affectionately and not humorously, but truthfully, but it's kind of say, go to your children and say, I God you, instead of I love you. Or go to your spouse, I God you, instead of I love you. Because if God is love, then it's the same thing to say I God you or I love you. And that's the essence of who God is. God is pure love. And so we see that through John's writings, and that's what we're setting up for now, because we're going to start getting his epistles as the first readings through this season. And we get his Gospels too, because the way the church calendar is set up is we're in the A cycle, which is Matthew, but during Christmas and then again during Easter, we get a heavy dose of John, because that's where we get the theology, because John has had enough time to reflect by the time he writes his gospel of what he came to know about Jesus that he can share with us, and that is the essence that the Word, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That's Jesus, the Word. And then the Word became flesh, and that's the incarnation. That's Christmas, which we just continue to celebrate during this Christmas season. So today, as we reflect, we want to reflect on the love that pours out of us because of our faith. And our faith allows us to believe in a way that's deeper than belief. It's a way to put action behind belief, and that action manifests itself as love, and of course charity, which is another word for love. So we are in a wonderful season. We're in the Christmas season. We continue to be filled with joy. I heard a writer say in a podcast that when you truly love someone, you're joyful when you're with them. And so let the love that we have for God manifest itself in joy, and that joy then can be evidenced by the love we give to others, which is the charity that we have, especially for those that need help during this season. So with that, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to tell everybody, remind you that tomorrow I'll be traveling. Don't know about the video. We'll see if we can get it in. I'd like to do at least a short one, maybe when we get to South Bend, to introduce the place that I'll be doing the videos for the rest of the week. And then we'll be there for the week. And then next weekend we'll travel back home. And when the new year comes on whatever that Monday is, 5th, I guess, we'll be rocking and rolling into the new season of life, where I'm waiting for a new assignment, and I'll be transitioning to different kind of work, not church work, but everything that we do should be done with love. And that's my message for you today, because when we love, we find joy. Amen? You pray for me, and I'll pray for you. God bless everybody. Have a wonderful day.